everybody, and welcome back to The Person Who. Clearly, I have a very special guest with me. We're twins. We planned it. This is Destiny.
Hello.
Destiny,
friends.
Introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Destiny. I am a mom.
She's a mom now.
I am a wife. I am
She
a
is.
friend. I am a sister.
Yep.
Forget about that one.
She is a graphic designer.
I'm a graphic designer.
She has like
For fun sometimes.
40 businesses that are excelling. All of them are doing so good.
It's terrible. Don't do it. I
she does
do
good.
not recommend.
She does good.
But,
We've been friends now for what? 4 years?
Yeah.
4 years? Ever since 2021, yeah. We started an internship together.
Yeah.
Me and Whit talked about it last episode. I guess that was last episode about how when I joined the internship and Des was with me in that group. And we were both just like, what are we doing?
What even is this?
It took us a minute to like open up and be like
Yeah.
besties and comfortable around each
Yeah.
other. But now I feel like we're just doing life together now. But yeah, we met then. We've done events together, Christmas, Easter,
Yep.
New Year's, all the events. We've gone to every Hobby Lobby and cleared out all the florals before. We've cleared out the sprinkle aisles at Aldi and Walmart. Like, you name it, we've done it.
Party City. RIP.
Party City. Oh, yeah. Party City's closed now.
Yeah.
That was our spot. When we had an event and we needed some last minute balloons, we were there
Every time.
buying it out every single time. All the helium gone, probably because of us, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, guys.
what else? We've done youth together, conferences. We've done it all. And now she's got a
much fun
baby,
stuff.
Birdie. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. If you've never seen me post a picture of Birdie, you should go look because I'm sure there's some in there. She is the most perfect little girl ever.
Pretty cute, I'd say.
And tell them
Yes.
about her new party trick that she does.
Oh, she loves to scream at the top of her lungs.
Yes, it's
Just she uses them.
She does.
She does.
I think maybe
loves
that
it.
means she's going to be a singer.
Something. She's gonna have a
She's so
very
cute.
big personality. I
She's
know
so
it.
cute.
Yeah.
She looks just like the perfect blend of Des and Mason. Like there's some days where I'm like, oh, that's Mason, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's Destiny.
Yeah.
It's like their perfect little
Yeah.
little twin in there. But she's so cute. But today we're going to talk about something very fun and exciting.
Yeah.
I say that every time. It's never
I
fun and
guess
exciting.
it's not.
But it's going to be good. We're going to be talking to the person who is looking for validation, approval from all the wrong people. That's something that
So
me and
fun.
you have like talked about that you went through over this past season. So like start us out. Tell us how you got to where you are and like what made you be like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this right now?
Yeah. Well, it starts, of course, from childhood, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's fine. My parents are the best. They
Yeah.
just, as I will do.
Right. They're first time humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I just grew up having really high standards put on me.
Yeah.
And I was never able to achieve them. And
Yeah.
so from that, I just felt a little bit like a failure all
Right.
the time. And
Yeah.
I was always trying to just succeed in something, literally anything.
Yeah.
And that carried into school. It carried into every part of my life. Friendships, even then, I just wanted to be a friend to someone. I just wanted to know
Yeah.
that somebody wanted to be my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, it carried on to my work. I worked in corporate America for a while, and that was really easy to get the good job, to get you're being successful,
Yeah.
the money's in your bank account, you're doing your job the way that you need to. It was very like task driven, which was really good for my personality, but the growth that's come from what I did go through because of it is far more important. And so coming into ministry, which is a whole fun thing.
So fun.
And so that's where I really learned that I was seeking validation in all of the wrong places. And at first, it wasn't as a parent.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts off from a pure place, from an
Yes.
innocent heart of, I just want to do good. I just
Exactly.
want to please the people that are above me. I want God to be proud of me. I want someone to see my work and be proud of me and know, oh, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
So it comes from a place of innocence. But yeah, keep going.
Exactly. And then, at some point, I just got disconnected from the Lord, which is like the biggest thing that now I know. But in the moment, I didn't understand what I was doing and what it was going to cost me. And so, I wasn't spending time with him. I wasn't going to him in all of the circumstances that I was going through, knowing that he had a listening ear for me, like
Yeah.
None of that. And so I was going through all of the things in my own strength and trying to please and do my best in things that should not have been task driven. Like it was always about the heart, and I completely missed the mark. And so where I should have been focused on other things, I was focused on, do my friends really love me and like really enjoy the time that they have with me? Am I doing this task well?
Yeah.
And it didn't even have to be like, am I exceeding and am I like such a star?
Right,
like all of these things. It was just, am I doing it well? Is this okay? Is this right? Is this the way that you would do it? Which sounds very like, that sounds like a normal thing to ask. But it was in everything. Like I almost needed direction for the simplest task just because I wanted to make sure that I was doing it right. And it was always a standard that I set on myself. And that left me in a really terrible position.
Do you think that like, because we worked together side by side for what? Before I moved on to like youth stuff, we were together for what, 2 years, a year and a half, a while, working side by side. And do you think that there was ever like a, what do you want to call it? Like a red flag where you were like, oh, I'm asking for approval a lot? Or do you think you were so numb to it in the moment that it just kind of crept up on you? And then one day where you were like, how did I even get here?
No, for sure. It was a lot of small things that all just added up. That at the end of it, I realized, oh, wait, I'm way down the line where I should be focused on this thing. It was a lot of me having these perceptions in my own mind about people and the way that they perceived me, which is crazy. Like, it's not a great place to be in ever.
But it's so, like, I do that too. Easton literally told me today we got in a little argument on the way to breakfast. And he was like, Brady, I think you're putting thought bubbles over my head and I'm not even saying or thinking that. And I'm like, oh, I am.
Right. Because whenever all you want is validation, I'm walking in and I'm doing a task hoping that somebody's going to say good job or somebody's going to say, you did great. That was amazing. That was wonderful. And when that didn't happen, I carried that with me. And it was something that I carried and I questioned myself about. It wasn't even always about the other person. It was, where did I miss the mark? What did I do wrong? Did they not see me or did they not like it? And that's why they didn't say anything. And so I went home every night with my own questions. And that's even more dangerous because they just kind of float around for a really long time. And it was just adding up into where it was kind of spilling into, my work life, but also my friendships and also my marriage, like all of these different things that I felt like I wasn't amounting to what I needed to, which wasn't true.
Well, that was my next question to you is how did it affect the relationships, whether it was work relationships or friendships or you and Mace, how did it affect you guys if you were always going in with an expectation, number one, over your head, but then over other people's head to give you that approval? Because what if they had a bad day and just didn't say anything? Like, how did that affect your relationships just in general?
It was terrible.
She said it was terrible.
It was really bad. Because I would walk into rooms either with two kind of perceptions of the situation. Either that I needed to prove something or that I'm already losing. And so what's the point? And a lot of it was like with friendships and relationships, I'm already losing. I already feel like they see me this way. I already feel like they don't know my heart. They don't understand. They're not seeing what I'm trying to do. Or I have to prove that I am this person. And it was kind of different per situation. But I would go in and I would try to show them my heart as much as I can and try to prove it all, or I just wouldn't. And I would remove myself, essentially.
I remember this just popped up in my brain, so obviously I didn't tell you we were going to talk about this before, but I remember right around the time where it was right before you got pregnant with Birdie. But I think we were literally just maybe going to get a drink. Me and Des always used to like leave in the middle of the day to go get a Dr. Pepper or something.
Just need it.
But I remember you telling me, like, Brady, one of my biggest fears right now is being misunderstood. Mm-hmm. I'm so afraid that everybody misunderstands me in every single room I walk in. And I was like, what? Mm-hmm. Like, what? Explain what that feeling was like and like how you had to trudge through all of that, because I know that's not easy.
Okay. I'm not going to cry.
I know, I started watering too. I was like, I remember that was so hard.
No, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. Like it's so hard. Because you try your best and it wasn't even always true. Yeah. I don't think. It was just what I was perceiving, which sucks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it makes you make decisions like removing yourself from people who like, are your world. Like these are key people in your life.
Yeah.
And because of just this like thing that you have in your mind, you're not able to fully give to that relationship. Like you're not fully able to give yourself to that friendship. It caused me to protect myself a ton.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I felt misunderstood, I felt like I almost had to shut down and like, oh, they don't know me anyways. Like they don't know me. Every word that comes out of my mouth is going to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
Every action is going to feel disingenuous. Like all of these things that were not true at all, but they always were in the back of my mind. And it was so sad because I know that it's not true now. And the way that I was walking into rooms was just really different. It was super protected. And it's crazy because, I mean, you guys, I'm sure know this, but the Lord had brought me from that already. Like in the past, I had been super protected. I had been just the kind of person that didn't really want to let people in.
Yeah.
Because they had no business knowing my information. Like, also just how I was raised.
Yeah.
You don't need to know about it. Like, I will let you in as much as I want to.
Right.
And everything else I'm going to protect because I don't know what your intentions are. And so the Lord had brought me from that and like full joy, full like my heart was literally on my sleeve.
Yeah.
And with all of just everything that was going on in my mind, I allowed it to shut down again. And I became super protective. Yeah. And so it sucked.
Yeah. And like you said, you walked into rooms completely different and you're talking about it so lightheartedly and freely now, but it's because you're on the other side of it. But I know when you were in it, it felt like it was never going to end. Like it felt like you were just stuck in this valley and you're like, God, I don't even know how to get out of it. Right. But I remember like there was even a season for me and Des where we like stopped talking. It was probably probably almost not a year. Was it a year?
Maybe
a year of just like me going through my own stuff, Des going through her own stuff. And instead of us both like coming together and knowing, wait, we know who we are. I'm not misunderstanding you. You're not misunderstanding me. We just let that time and space and tension just continue to grow and grow and grow until one day we looked around and I was like, where's Destiny? And she was like, where's Brady? And it was like, we've created this big gap because we just allowed the enemy to get in our ear and make us misunderstand each other, even though we knew exactly who one another were. But not just that, like it just created this space where it's like, there's so many room for so many things for us to think in our own head. So yeah, I mean, me personally, I've talked about it before. I'm like I'm not anymore, but I'm trying not to be like so worried about what people think of me and like pleasing others and making sure that my heart with God and like with my family, with my husband and my friends is okay first. But when you already lean towards being a people pleaser and making sure everyone around you is okay and everyone around you is taken care of, that just leaves the enemy even more space to be like, well, they don't understand you. Everything that you're doing, they think you're coming at it from this way. So were those voices or like the lies of the enemy, were they in your head pretty heavily? And did you do anything to try and fight them? Or were you just in a place where you're like, I can't even try right now?
Yeah. For sure. They were super loud. It was all that I knew. It was my truth. Like, you know how people say that. Like that was my truth. It was all I knew. And And there would be bits and pieces of time where I would kind of look back, and it was heartbreaking because I would look back and just like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? You know, with that whole situation, us, you know, how did we get from talking literally all of the time, spending all of our time together, working so well together, all of these things to we are in the same room, but we're not even talking.
Yeah,
like,
but we're like,
it's kind of like we're not, you know? And so those were the only moments. And I think it was so filled with like loss, like sadness, that it wasn't for me even like how do I get back there? It was just like, that is so sad. I don't even want to actually pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to think about that.
So with that, like, assuming that other people are thinking one thing or assuming that they're misunderstanding you, I can only imagine, which firsthand I know some too, like it brings a bunch of confusing feelings with that of like every room you walk into is the first question you're asking yourself, who's mad at me today? Or like, were you ever able to walk in, and I'm just using like a work perspective, but you can use any perspective, whether you're walking into work or school, a classroom, whatever, wherever you are. Was that the first thing popping in your brain? Were you able to notice anything else? Or as soon as you walked in the room, was it, oh my gosh, who is going to misunderstand me today?
Yeah. It was very much a feeling of don't open your mouth. Don't look the wrong way. Like, just be careful.
Yeah.
And which is so terrible. Like I felt like I had to watch everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, the perspective was probably pretty poor because, I was protecting myself and I was walking in and not saying words when I would have said words, and I would have hugged and I would have laughed, and now I'm not. And so in a way, me actively trying to make sure that the perspective was right was very opposite of what I should have done.
Well, I feel like it completely suppresses your personality.
Oh, for sure.
If you're walking in a room and you're automatically like, how am I going to protect myself today? Which is valid if you've gone through things and like you've been hurt by people. I completely understand that. Yeah. But if you're walking into rooms and you're already like, oh gosh, and you're putting thought bubbles over people's heads or whatever, like, I know for me personally, I wear my emotions on. It is so easy to tell when I am not happy or when I'm upset or frustrated. I can't. I have an awful poker face. So it's like I walk into the room, I'm automatically like, I know today's going to be hard, and probably mainly because I'm in a bad mood or whatever. But it completely suppresses who I am as a person. It completely suppresses the ideas and the things that God has put into my life. Yeah. Like, for example, there was a few weeks ago, or I think it was actually last week, I went into staff and we were celebrating Easter. And I got all in my head and all insecure. It was just kind of a long week. I wasn't ready for my message on Wednesday, and I was already carrying that kind of heavy. And then I was just tired from the weekend, and I just did not wake up and honestly put on the full armor of God to protect my mind that day. So I already woke up and made the decision to be insecure, if I'm being quite honest. Yeah. And then I walk into the room and we're celebrating this beautiful day that just happened at Moore Church. Yeah. And I am completely suppressed in my personality because I am letting the enemy come in with lies and just absolutely beat me up because this Easter looked completely different for me. This is the first Easter I wasn't on like the events team and like getting to help set the table in the lobby for guests that come in. I get to be on the kids team and the youth team now, which is amazing and wonderful, and I absolutely love it. It just looks different. So my role had shifted on Easter. And I didn't think at first that I was insecure about that, but apparently I was. And it made itself full-blown and full aware on Tuesday because I felt like I couldn't bring anything to the table to celebrate, which was so false because in all actuality, we saw over 330 kids. Yeah. We got to do wonderful skit. It was beautiful. We saw so many kids ask Jesus into their heart. And that was a celebration. But in the moment, I'm putting thought bubbles over people's heads. Yeah. And I'm putting thought bubbles about myself over my head. And instead of saying, wait a minute, this is not at all what anyone's thinking. This is not at all what God is thinking. I'm just letting that misunderstanding, that insecurity sit and completely suppress who I am as a person. And it's so obvious because I have you looking at me and Easton looking at me and Whitney and Tim is like, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm tired today. And it's ridiculous looking back on it, but in the moment it really does feel real.
No,
Like I don't want to be silly to think that it doesn't feel real, because in the moment it feels so real. But standing on the other side of that, what is something practically that helped you? Because I'm a very practical person. You got to give me 1, 2, 3 steps so I can do it. So what's something practical that helped you?
Finding wisdom.
Yeah.
One of the wisest things that I could have done was to sit around the table with the ladies that now you're a part of the Bible study.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I could not pull myself up. And at the time I had kind of written off the community that I had that was supposed to help me do that. And so, I had to find someone. And at the time, like, thank God they opened their doors and created a space for us. And it was just a small Bible study, 4 ladies, and we just talked. All that we stay up until
we do be
so
staying
late.
up until 10:45.
Sorry, but it's so good.
No,
it is
good. It's
so
beautiful.
good because they are so quick to correct.
Yes,
which is so nice. They're so quick to correct, and they give good biblical wisdom, which in the moment that you feel like you're losing, you cannot pull that up for yourself sometimes.
No, it's true.
And so it was really nice.
Yeah, no, that's so good. There's this verse in the Bible in Psalms, and it says, "For exaltation comes neither from the east nor the west, nor from the south, but from God. He's the one that raises us up." And like, did that feel like a real verse to you in the time where you were looking for approval, where you were worried about people misunderstanding you? Because if you don't know Destiny is like a boss lady, works hard in everything she does, gives her 150% in all of it. So in the moments when you're like, they don't even understand what I'm doing, they don't see my heart, or when you didn't want to seek out godly wisdom, like what you're saying before you got in with Brandy Sandra, who will slap you around a little bit, did that Bible verse feel like, I believe this? Or was it just like, God, I don't even know how you can pull me up, because where are you?
No. Some would say it went in one ear and out the other. Literally. No, it was my biggest downfall in that season, was not just seeking the Lord, because I know that he would have. And now I'm holding on to, I probably have said this a million times, maybe you've heard, but Jeremiah 29:11. I've been literally wearing it on my neck.
It's so good. It's so good.
He knows the plans that he has for me. And now on the other side of it, I realize that. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, actually. They don't have to like me.
Right.
Or they don't have to even see what I'm doing, because you do. And you have a plan for it and all the things. But no, not in the moment. I unfortunately was not doing that.
But then I think, so like some people, I was telling Des before we even started, I have like a wide range of people who listen, and I think it's beautiful and I love it. It's so exciting. But specifically when you're in high school, it can get real lonely real quick. So what would you say to like a teenage girl or guy, or even because it's lonely in the adult world too. Like, hello, your circle is small for a reason, because it's hard out here in these streets. But like, what would you say to someone who's like, okay, I do trust that my promotion comes from above. And I do want to not care about what everyone else says. And I do want to be able to just leave friendships when they're not good and beneficial. But like, dang, it's so lonely. And then because this is what I work with youth kids. I think we talked about this. And like, what I hear is, okay, I've removed myself from that group. I am like by myself. I'm lonely. And they think that I'm the bad person because I've taken a step back to not do what they're doing. So what would you say to like someone struggling with that?
That is the hardest place to be.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
But leaning on the Lord, and I mean leaning on the Lord, like being with him and speaking to him and sharing with him the desires of your heart, like truly. It's not going to be quick, but he will give you that. He will give you the people. He will give you even just encouragement. Like, God is so good to just give you a wink. You always like comment on the winks that the Lord gives you. But he's so good. He really, really is. And you have to have your eyes open to it, because you can be really blinded. Yeah.
Well, that's what you said. You said this all kind of started and you just completely took your eyes away. And I think that's when we become most vulnerable to attack from the enemy.
For sure.
Is when we take our eyes off of who God is. So like when you were going through that, how did that affect your view of God?
Yeah.
That's kind of a hard question, but like
Very.
how did it affect how you saw him? Because you only were seeing people misunderstanding you and seeking approval from people, and maybe they weren't giving it to you.
I was really confused. I was questioning him a lot because in my head, I was like, Lord, how could you bring me all of this way? Just for me to feel this way, just for me to feel defeated, just for me to feel like this isn't the place that I should be at.
Yeah.
These aren't my people, maybe? Like, what the junk is happening? Like, what is happening right now? It made me question literally everything. Yeah. And I remember driving in my car so many times and just bawling my eyes out, asking the Lord, like being so real, which thank God, because I had never done that before. I had never been like truly, Lord, I'm upset. Like I'm mad hurt that I'm in this place right now. Yeah. I felt like, this was where I was supposed to be. I felt like I was listening to you. I felt like I was allowing you to guide my life, and now I'm lonely. I am alone, literally, alone with my thoughts, hurting, like my heart is broken. Yeah. What do you expect me to do now? Yeah. And it was a lot of anger, but from that, he was so kind to show me that that's not the truth. And that's whenever things started to move. Right. Is whenever I actually allowed him into the hurt and was really, really vulnerable and really, really just like put it all out there on the table for him. Because he can't do anything with me all closed up and protecting myself from him.
Exactly. Yeah. And was it hard at first for you to be real with the Lord?
Yes, because I'm a task-driven person, right? Yeah. So in my mind, it was, no, I come with the Lord and I thank him and I'm so grateful. And it's a part of the reason why I think I stayed away for so long is because, no, he can't see the ugliness. Like he can't see all of this. I can't tell him that I'm upset because people aren't seeing me because I knew that it wasn't about me. Yeah. But I wanted it to be. But everything in me was just like, can you just tell me I'm doing a good job, please? Tell me I'm doing a good job. Right. But it wasn't about that. Right. And so he was able to kind of realign that. But at first I was like, this is so icky. I don't want to share this with you. Yeah. Nor do I think that you can handle it, which is crazy. Yeah. Like, no, but it's. Nor do I think that's what you want to see. Yeah. Not true.
Yeah. No, I read something. It might have been on TikTok. I don't know. But it was like I asked God for peace. And he took me through the hardest season of my life because through the hardest season of my life, peace was absolutely ingrained and carved out of me. So on the other side of this, what you would say, valley of hard, what is the number one thing that the Lord has taught you through all of it?
That he is my father. Yeah. That he protects me so much. Yeah. That I can be free and like who he's created me to be. Right. The joy that's come out of it is insane. Right. Like I'm able to walk into a room and be absolutely insane sometimes.
Your pet is in your step.
Yes. Yes, I would say so. And it's so funny because everyone was like, Birdie, it's you becoming a mom. And I'm like, but you have no idea. You don't even know. Yes. Yeah. So it was a lot of things, but he's just so good. And I'm getting to know him on a whole different level now. Yeah. Which is so nice.
Right. So would you say it was worth it to like all the pain, all the hurt, all the confusion, everything?
Yeah, for sure.
Like it instilled in you, I've told you, like a new joy, like a lightheartedness. And at first, I was like, oh my gosh, Birdie. Yeah. Yes, she's a mom. But really like being in the front row of your life for a long time and then taking a few rows back to like the fourth or fifth row and just watching like joy come out of it was like legit so beautiful and so encouraging because even when I'm like, oh God, you don't see me, I get so emo about it. But like, I'm like, no, he really does like refine in the fire when you are in your lowest season, when you are in like your valley moment. And there's a verse somewhere in the Bible, I won't be able to find it, but it talks about going from glory to glory. And like, you're going from glory to glory every time. So it's like, even when you are in your lowest season, whatever that looks like for you, you can know, oh, well, he brings me from glory to glory. Yeah. So this is just me walking from one mountaintop to another. But it definitely doesn't feel like that in the moment. And before we go, there was one more thing I wanted to ask you because you have free will as a human being.
do.
God's a gentleman, right? You could have said no to this whole entire refining process or this whole entire stripping away of everything that you thought, but you said yes to it. So do you think that there are consequences if you decide to sit in your like, well, I'm always going to seek approval from people and it's always going to let me down, but I am task driven and this is what I'm going to do. And you know what? I don't even care if people misunderstand me because I don't care about people anymore. Like, do you think there is a consequence worth telling the people about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was living in it for a little bit. Like, it was almost a taste of what the rest of my life could be like if I chose it, you know?
Yeah.
Which was lonely. It was bitter and disappointed.
Yeah.
Just always.
Yeah.
Just always. That's the biggest thing that I felt through that entire season was just I was disappointed because I had an expectation and it was never met. I was bitter because I had all of these feelings and they were not correct, but I still felt them. And I chose to make it my reality. And so I was walking into rooms bitter. And it's not fun and so lonely because I'm pushing people away because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. And I don't want to let you into the icky also.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously we're talking to the person and I want you, she told me not to ever make her look in the camera, but I'm going to make her look in the camera and just like encourage them, pray for them, whatever you feel in your heart to do, because I know there are some people out there who really are like, no, you don't understand. Like every room I walk into, the first thing, like, well, I just said I was going to say this and I never did. But the time that you came to me and we were like walking in the lobby and you were like, Brady, I feel like I walk into a room and instantly all the negative is highlighted. I am seeing everyone's thoughts negatively. I'm seeing every problem I need to fix, which in reality can be a super gift from the Lord to be like, hey, go notice that person over there that's hurting. Hey, look at this celebration that's happening over here, and to see things in a different light. But like some people literally just walk around like, I'm just so misunderstood. Yeah. But I want you to encourage them and love on them a little bit. Do it.
Okay. I would just say that there is an end if you choose it to be, and it's going to happen as quick as you choose, which is so hard. But you can choose to make it a little bit easier, and it's still going to be icky and it's going to be messy, but trust in the Lord and just lean on him and give him all of the icky, even though it sometimes doesn't feel like what you would normally do. And just trust him with it and hold on to his promises. This has been a huge season where I was able to like actually take time to know his character and his promises for me. And that's something that I've been able to hold on to. It's something I can compare my thoughts to and his promises and just know that those don't align. That's not correct. And so the Lord has so much in store for you, and you can choose, which is the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. But you can choose to get out of it, and you can choose to see what he has for you. And practical, I mean, try and see the good in every day. Just try and find something that's light, something that the Lord is doing in your life that is beautiful.
Yeah. I love what you said. You said, my thoughts and his promises don't align. That's so good. Like, it's true. It all goes back to like taking that thought captive. If something pops up in here that doesn't align with what's going on in here, don't even let it sit for a second.
Exactly.
Because you know what's on the other side of sitting in that for too long. But it's absolutely beautiful. I love you. Thank you so much for coming and talking to all of us today. Oh, we need to pray before you go. Okay, so you pray over our people and then we'll head out.
All right. Lord, we just thank you for every person that has listened today. Father, we thank you that you are here, that you're in this conversation, that you see them, that you know the circumstances, you know the anxieties, you know the frustrations, Father. And we just pray for an overwhelming sense of peace over each person listening, Father, that you would just show them that you do have a plan, Lord, and that there is another way, Father, that you would give them the next step, whether it be just speaking to you, whether it be ugly crying, whether it be opening your word, Father, whatever it might be, Lord Jesus, that you would just prompt them to take the next step, Lord. We thank you that we can trust you with all of the ickiness, Father. We thank you that you know deep down exactly who we are and who we are to our core, what our hearts look like really, what our mind looks like really, Father, and whether that might be icky, you find the beauty in it all. You know exactly what the end has in store, Father. And so I just thank you for that. I thank you that you're so kind, that you're gracious, that you give us time to wrestle it out with you, Lord. And so I just, thank you for your immense peace. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks for coming. Yeah. It was so fun. Yeah. Did you have fun?
I had fun.
Okay, good. Good. Fun. She was so like, what if I start giggling?
I don't do this. I don't do this,
but you did good. And we'll do another one because we didn't even get to talk about the other half of the thing.
I feel like we missed out on so much.
It's okay, but it's good. But, at the end of it all, I think we're talking to the person who feels misunderstood.
For sure.
So if you feel misunderstood today, like, know that there is a man named Jesus who absolutely knows you to your core being and will absolutely never misunderstand you. And don't be afraid to give him any of those things that you feel like, oh, this is gross. Oh, he won't understand this. Oh, I have to come prepared and prim and proper because he absolutely understands who you are and he loves you very much. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.